Well, no Irish luck for Ireland as India unleashed their pace attack and have kind of skittled Ireland under 100 on a pitch which looked pretty unplayable. We are here at Cricbuzz Live to discuss all this and much more. It feels like we've just come out of the box because it got done so soon. I have DK and Harsha with me. Not the pitch one expects for a World Cup game, big opening India game. Having said that, India bowled very well.
Yeah, let's talk about the pitch first. It's not the best of pitches. I think T20 cricket, generally the format is tilted in favour of batters. This one is obviously tilted in favour of bowlers, but not for the right reasons. It's too spongy, the odd ball bouncing sometimes above the head, keeping really low so the batters can't line up. It doesn't make for great viewing, to be very honest. It's really hard on batters to get into positions to play any power pack shot. At the end of the day, I think they'll realise that even though the drop-in pitches have come, the whole process has been to get them ready in Adelaide. Then they moved it to Miami 1 month prior to the tournament. They kept it in Miami because the weather is much better there. And post that, just a couple of weeks prior to this, they've brought that big block and they have relayed it in New York, Long Island, where the ground is. You can see the general thumb rule when you make pitches is like in Chepauk, MA Chidambaram Stadium, when they relayed the pitch, it takes 6 months at times where they constantly keep playing and then it settles down. Initially, it is very low and it takes time for the pitch to settle down. And today, we get the pitch that there is. This drop-in pitches is a new concept that was started and it had obviously done well in certain parts of the world, especially in Australia, where they primarily use it, New Zealand to a large extent as well. But I don't think it's settled down really well in New York. I have to say in Prairie Gardens, which is in Dallas, the pitch is a really nice pitch and it's good to bat on. But the weather conditions in New York hasn't probably allowed it to settle down as well as it should have. Because the block in itself, in terms of the individual outlook, in terms of the individual... what do you call that, Harsha? The natural thing that it has, the way the soil is and all of that is a good pitch, Adelaide pitch where they make it. But I don't think it's settled well in New York.
Adelaide this is an Australian curator who's done this, if I'm not
Andy
wrong.
Atkinson.
No, yes. Andy Atkinson is the ICC curator.
Okay. So Damien
Howe, who makes the pitches for at the Adelaide Oval.
Yes.
And he makes very good pitches.
Yeah, and the word I was looking for is individual characteristic as a pitch is very, very good. But I don't think it's settled well enough as we speak in New York. And it will be a point that people will be speaking about before the big game that's going to happen in a few days.
Yeah, you can't play India-Pakistan on this pitch. You can't play because it could get dangerous. I mean, DK is really polite when he said not the best, but there was one ball where the batter's gone back with a very badly bruised thumb.
Yes.
There's one where the number 10 or number 11 was almost, his weight was little forward and the ball's gone over his head. There's one that scooted through. So it's almost dangerous at this level, especially if you've got really high quality fast bowlers. It got to a stage where sitting downstairs saying all that Bumrah has to do is bowl a straight ball because the batters are backing off. Bowled a straight ball and he's out. India will be a touch disappointed, if at all, that they allowed them to go from 50 for 8 into the 90s.
Yes.
So to that extent, yes, but otherwise you just have to run in. Now, someone like a Bumrah, for example, someone like a Hardik, who we've been talking about, needs a good spell, needs wickets behind him, needs to feel good. Can he look at this and say, I got 3 wickets? And he says, yeah, but I mean...
Now, the result in such a case won't matter so much, Harsha. It's about how his body was feeling, the rhythm.
Yeah.
And it can be a tough ground to get rhythm on because of the conditions of the outfield. It's very sandy, beachy, so you don't get that push of the ground force, as they call it. That won't be there in high proportion in this kind of outfield. So it is always something that you're searching for. It always feels good to get 3 wickets. I don't think he's going to say no to that. But internally, only he would know how he feels. I do think he's got a little more speed in him, and I hope he gradually but progresses in the tournament. He's bowling mid-130s, but he'll crank it up very, very soon to 140.
We've now seen, I don't know, there's only 4 pitches on the square there. There's not that many games, so maybe there's 4 or maybe there's a little more. You played 1 game on the side pitch and you got a 74 game. You played, now you left the 2 center pitches, you moved to the adjacent one, and you got a 50 for 8. It should have been a 60 all out, 70 all out kind of. Now, will the 2 center pitches be so different in character? I doubt. I don't think pitches on a square can be so different in character when they're adjacent to each other unless they've intentionally been made that way. Like in Ahmedabad, for example, you have some red soil, some black soil. They're adjacent to each other. They'll play differently. But on here on the square, I doubt they'll play differently.
Well, DK, you spoke about pitches need to settle in. When you go into a big city, human beings take time to settle in. Clearly, they're taking time to settle in with the pitches. Let's have a look at what Michael Vaughan has to say. He's tweeted in and spoken about these pitches. Trying to sell the game in the States is great. Love it. But for players to have to play on this substandard surface in New York is unacceptable. You work so hard to make it to the World Cup, then you have to play on this.
And I'll add to that, India's played World Cups for many years.
Yes.
Pakistan has played World Cups for many years. You go to an Ireland. Ireland is among the better of the qualifiers. But you go to teams like Ireland and Scotland and Netherlands and then go further beyond Uganda, Papua New Guinea. When you come to the World Cup, that is the biggest thing you've ever done in life.
And then it can't be one-sided, right? If you win the toss, it becomes so one-sided. It's just not fair.
So they'll come and say, so is this what international cricket is about? No, so they can't, those people, I mean, I remember Rahul Dravid saying once how his whole life changed after he played a season with Scotland. Because he realized what it meant to them to be playing at this level. For Uganda to come and play at the World Cup, for Papua New Guinea to come and play at the World Cup is huge. And then that's why I agree with what Michael said.
I don't think you should completely write off Ireland today.
Absolutely.
The conditions
Exactly.
will definitely help their fast bowlers. And it's actually not fast bowlers. The term to use is medium pacers. It's the kind of pitch which has enough movement and stroke making will be hard. God forbid if a couple of wickets fall, it won't be an easy thing.
Exactly, which is why I keep saying from 50 for 8, everyone's smiling over there, but from 50 for 8 to come to 96, 97, whatever is conceding too much.
Now, we'll come to India's batting, but the reason we've been talking so much about the pitches is because Ireland have been bundled up for 96 and the top scorer was just 26. Delaney gets 26. Hardik got those 3. Jasprit, Bumrah got 2. Arshdeep got 2. But like DK said, you should not write Ireland off. But for India's bowling, besides, of course, the pitch, you spoke about Hardik and Harsha, you mentioned, is this the confidence he needs, the 3 wickets that you need? Interestingly, Arshdeep spoke about this as well after the warm-up game, and he said that it's because these sandy pitches, you were talking about sandy outfield and also the pitches, he feels that he felt his rhythm going in the warm-up game, and that's very important when you play in conditions like what New York are. So it's all on what Hardik's actually feeling.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. These are, as I said, new grounds. They've been parks before. They just converted it into a cricket ground for the moment. So the challenges are very different. The body adapting to it and understanding what speed you need to run, when you need to accelerate, the technical intricacies of running up to bowl, when you need to take the jump, and all of that. You won't get the same height that you get because you don't have the ground force. And when you land, when to release. Small things like this that eventually propels you to bowl at the speed that you want. It's very easy for me to sit here and say, oh, Hardik bowled 135 when he can actually bowl 140. But the point is all of that in the lead up to the run up, to the jump, to the height that he jumps, and then the release point, then you get that 140 plus. So, he's looking for all that every ball he's bowling. He's hardly worried about the result in the sense that if it goes for 6, so be it, because he believes that it can be gettable. Yes, you want to bowl a decent line and length, but beyond that, it's all about finding rhythm, because as he progresses in the tournament, the bigger matches will come. So that is there. And I think India overall, even though they might, look and say 96 is acceptable, they'd be pretty not too happy, let's put it, with the effort, because I thought they bowled one too many extras. The third over that Arshdeep bowled, you can see he was searching for both sides of swing, and hence he was losing his shape while delivering, and he wasn't able to control the swing. Inadvertently, he ended up giving a lot more. If you do take Siraj, I thought his first spell was nice, didn't get too much to bowl at the back end. Bumrah, as always, rock solid. Hardik, I thought, was searching for rhythm. The 2 spinners, well, 1 over each, you don't want to judge too much on it. So my reading of this is, it's been a decent performance, not one that they would be, not one they were definitely clinical, but not one they'd go back saying, wow, we're bowling really well.
Harsha, you also spoke about Arshdeep's third over, 8 runs, the extras that he gave. DK spoke about it was swinging both ways, and what would you read of the way Arshdeep...
And even that last over that he bowled, hitting it almost center of the pitch, allowing them a free swing of the bat. You saw Bumrah came and just bowled straight and got a wicket.
Yes.
So I thought they've conceded 25 to 30 runs more. You hardly ever say when a team makes 95 that they've conceded 30 runs more. But that is what it is. And I agree. Suddenly you find yourself one ball swing, one ball keep slow, you're 10 for 2, you're starting thinking, hey, ye kya ho raha hai yahan pe? So.
But when you have a look at the batting card, do you think they maybe a few of them played some false shots? Because we saw them kind of just wanting to slog it. There was no other way.
You won't know. We've played, the kind of cricket we played, you won't know. When you play with a cork ball on one of these chalu pitches, when we used to play, you never got in line. Because getting in line was dangerous. And you swung your bat.
You want to save your body first.
You swung your bat. I thought a couple of them were playing like that, backing off and swinging the bat and hoping for the best.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all, especially the lower order. You can see there was a little bit of fear in them. Let's state facts here. It was a tough pitch. One that certain batters tried to play normally. They couldn't get runs because their normal shots, they weren't even getting bat to ball. It's one thing missing a ball by a small margin, which you're used to as a batter, probably a little bit of seam, a little bit of swing. That always happens every game that you play. But when you miss by this much, then you start worrying about, what's happening here. What do I need to do to get close to the ball? Because the only chance you can get success if you're close to the ball. So, how do you achieve that? And on top of that, if there's a bounce where there's one going up and one going one, which one are you playing for? So the whole idea of how you bat it changes tremendously when you go through that kind of phase. It is very disorienting as a batter. As it is, there is pressure. You're thinking about the bowler. He's already quick. And then you add these two factors about low bounce, high bounce, and the fact that you're missing it by so much. You tend to worry a lot more than you should. It's very tough batting. There are certain people who are very good at batting on tough pitches. But I don't think Ireland, honestly speaking, possesses that kind of talent. I think the top order looked to play normally, but by the time they realized this is not a pitch where you can play normally, it was too late. The others were scared. And it was a game where India gave away probably a bit more than they would have liked. But one that Ireland batters, I wouldn't fault any of them.
How do you chase a total like this? What are the conversations now going on? Are the conversations, careful, don't break a thumb, don't be what? I hope it's not that kind of conversation, right? No. Just go and play normal and
just go play normal cricket.
Yeah.
One thing that they will try to understand within the first 1 over or 2 overs is, do we play the T20 template or do we play to win this game? Which could just mean just not lose wickets in the first 6 overs. Even if you're 15, 18, doesn't matter. That is the only thing that they will try and work out. If the moment they feel that, yes, but I do think they'll come out swinging hard, because in this kind of pitch against those kind of bowlers, it's better to attack and put them under pressure than wait for them to bowl a bad ball, because even the bad ball could be hard to put away. So you try and put them on the back foot by taking calculated chances within your game plan. For Rohit, it'll be step out and look to hit down the ground. For Virat Kohli, it'll be step out and look to hit on the leg side. So these two will start like that. Rishabh will probably come and pick it up behind square. So things like that. Within their game plan, they'll take that bit of risk. But the chances of it coming off might not be as successful as it would be on a good pitch.
But Harsha, do you think that game changer is going to be having a Virat, Rohit, who just have so much experience? They've played on all sorts of surfaces, so that experience is going to make the difference?
I'm very keen to see how they approach this. That's why I asked DK, what will be the conversations? How are they going to approach it? Because remember, these two don't also want to get out slogging, right?
Yes, of course.
They're world class. They're quality players. They don't want to look silly getting out. So I'm very keen to know how they go about doing it, and whether players like Rohit and Virat actually make the pitch look okay by their sheer skill.
DK, you spoke about the Ireland bowlers in the pre-match show. You said they don't have, besides the Josh Little, no one bowls above 140. Keeping the conditions in mind, what are they going to be thinking?
Oh, they'll look to come and hit good areas. They know they are 2 wickets away from causing enormous pressure on this famed batting lineup. There's Barry McCarthy who gets the ball in, swings it at a decent pace. Josh Little brings the ball back in, but he's got decent pace. But his toughest ball is the bouncer, actually. It skids a lot quicker. Benjamin White, again, somebody who hits the deck a little bit. Mark Adair has been around for a long time.
Yes.
Very decent bowler.
Been around forever.
And again, very, very military medium, as they would call it. But it can be very troublesome on this pitch. If they get past these 4, who will bowl a bulk of the first 15 overs, then obviously,
Yeah, but he's Curtis Camphor, decent bowler too.
He's a medium pacer again.
Curtis Camphor again, medium pace, not 140, 145, but brisk. So they've got the 5 seamers. They don't need to go to a Dockrell or another spinner at all.
Or Delaney. Delaney is the leg spinner, yeah. I don't think they'll use too much of Delaney. But the one thing that they would need, if at all they want to cause any sort of trouble, is to pick up 2 wickets within the first 4 to 5 overs.
But Harsha, we've seen what Rohit and Virat have done in the IPL. They both have been very, very attacking from the word go. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to be attacking? They're going to play to the conditions?
I think at the first opportunity, they'll play the shot.
Okay.
because I don't know if you can back yourself to hit through the line here. So they'll call their skill in, but I think at the first opportunity they'll play a shot. And if they can get away a couple of pull shots, say Rohit gets a couple of pull shots away, Virat hits one through cover, and suddenly you're 18-20 for no loss, then this game will change character very, very quickly.
But DK, do you think it's also about making a statement? Yes, one is backing yourself, knowing the conditions, but you want to go there, play your first World Cup game, making a statement saying this is how we're going to play, this is the brand of cricket we're going to play?
I don't think you can make a statement on this pitch. Ideally, on a flatter pitch, you can definitely, play a certain way where teams are like, wow, they come out with a different mindset. But I can tell you, with the Indian team, the whole world knows they're all good till they reach the semi-final. That's the game that people will be watching.
Yes.
Even Super 8s, you can lose a game, come back in the game. When the moment the heat is on saying that's the game, you lose, you're out of the tournament. It's a different game altogether. And that's when India need to do, which they showed in the 2023 World Cup. ODI World Cup. If they follow the same template, why not? I don't think anybody doubts India's skill, India's talent, India's pedigree now. I think what people are hoping is at some point pressure will get to them and they will think twice before playing a big shot. And that is what the other teams are banking on for their success. Or the pitch being very hard to bat on. One of the two.
Well, the pressure is now on us, because I don't want to talk about the statement we made with our predictions in the first innings. So
at one point, I really thought we'd do what we did in the previous game, take 100 off.
Yeah.
Take 100 off. And at 50 for 8, I thought, take 100 off, I might be winning this.
Okay, you go first then, Harsha.
Power play?
Yes.
Power play, I'm going 31.
46.
I'm going to go 42.
Okay.
I think I have to start sticking to my convictions.
You got to. Saiyami, don't get carried away. There is one person who's obviously broadcaster for 30 years, one person who's played for a few years, and then there is you who's obviously played fun cricket. You still have the best chance of getting it right if you...
But I can't play high-pressure games when I'm sitting with such
There is
pedigree.
no pressure. We get it wrong more often than not. I shouldn't say. I get it wrong a lot. This is something
if you went by the pitch report, if you went by the pitch report, you wouldn't have said 50 for 8 today.
True.
And that's proper qualified pitch report people doing it. So,
all right, so these are our predictions. Why don't you all write in and let's see if maybe you all are better at predicting what's going to happen. And with 97 to get, I'm not sure if we'll see you at the com box or not, but we will definitely see you for the post-match show. So do join in. That's all for now. We'll go grab our dinner quickly because you're super hungry. You all grab your dinner too and we'll see you all soon.